Now, joining me live in the studio right now is Kayode Ladeinde, Executive News Editor. It's nice to have you join me this morning.
Such a wonderful day.
I know we have been working together all the while in the build-up to this day, but what do you make of the preparation, especially when it comes to the activities that were lined up, almost a week-long activities into this inauguration?
I think it's been quite... It's quite an experience. The fact that even the Secretary to the Government of the Federation mentioned that they're looking forward to having this thing being legislated. So it's not a function of, whether one president leaves or the other. Yeah. Because, we had, for the first time, we had 3 different documents being handed over to the incoming administration. And he confirmed that that has never happened before now. So by the time this thing is legislated, just like we know what happens in the United States when it's time for transfer of power, it's not something that you second guess. It's not something that you're not sure of what will happen from point A to point B. So if this is legislated, I think it's a noble idea for the fact that I think I will give kudos to the inauguration commission, the committee who had put this together, or you call them the Presidential Transition Council, headed by the SGF. It's been quite interesting, and to know that this is coming to a climax, it's something that, Nigerians will remember for a long time.
Now, you and I, we were monitoring the arrival of a lot of guests, world leaders from around the world yesterday. I wonder what you make of it. We understand that about 65 heads of world leaders will be present today at the Eagle Square.
But altogether, it's about 84. I think some have representatives and some heads of states are also coming. It's been quite interesting to know, and they also confirm from some dignitaries that they're the highest ever, and this gives credence to the fact that this particular election was quite credible. It's something that is acceptable to the international community, and it's something that has given the president-elect an idea that the world is waiting for him, to set the ball rolling. And in a couple of hours, or should I say a couple of hours, in a few hours, I think that title will change from president-elect to president, So it's quite interesting, and it's something that we should be happy for those of us who have been around to know, for those who had their doubts, that this democratically elected government may not last long. We are celebrating 24 years.
Exactly.
And next year, counting. It will be, a silver jubilee. And trust me, we are not interested in going back to the military.
No, I think all Nigerians have moved on from the days of the possibility of having any military or any kind of distorted governance. But let's talk about what Nigerians expect. There are lots of people who have the feeling and who have the knowledge that the president-elect is coming with a lot of capacity. And because of the things that Nigerians have been through over the decades and all of that, everyone is expecting a miracle when it comes to governance and standard of living.
By the way, maybe I should let people know that I'm not actually resident in Abuja. I'm resident in Lagos. Yeah. So we have a first-hand experience of what the president-elect stands for. And we won't be surprised if we have a whole lot of noble ideas. This is a man who has dreamt of this, who had worked towards this. And some may want to remind us, okay, what about the outgoing president? Didn't he also dream of this? But he has a track record of smart, intelligent, competent team. And for some of us who are privy to how he's raising up that team, we won't be surprised to see sterling performance from most of these people that will come on board. So trust me, like you always say, team is the key word. It's not something that he's going to do alone. So we'll expect smart, intelligent people who can actually work with what we're talking about. We need to compete. We have so abundance of talents in this country. It's no longer news to know that these are things that we're doing in different parts of the world, in UK, in Canada. It's time to make Nigeria attractive to those people who had actually angrily and frustrating-wise, left the country to come back.
All right, that's everyone looks forward to that. Now, another issue is appointments. A lot of people, like you talked about the fact that he has a way of attracting, working with a team, a very competent team. Now, the first appointment he's going to make, a lot of Nigerians they'll be expecting that maybe today, especially like the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and say the National Security Advisor or even a presidential spokesperson and all of that. I wonder what you're making of all of these. A lot of names have been, sent out, they've been bandied, here and there.
Trust me, I know it's a complex country. It's a country where so much is being talked about balance, so much is being talked about inclusiveness. But you know what you and I stand for? We're interested in competence. We're interested in performance. Like someone would say, that who cares who made the car you're driving? What matters is the car functioning well.
Exactly.
Who cares who made the bottled water you're drinking? The most important thing is the water clean. But we can't actually ignore the idea of balance, the idea of inclusivity in governance. So I know a whole lot of people will talk about, irrespective of the decisions he makes, some regions, one region or two other regions will still cry foul. Yeah. But if there were the people, the question is, those that have represented our regions in the past years, what have they brought to the table? Have they become better? I think we need to start asking the right question.
I think that question is a very germane question at this time, where people say, even if you have a president from a state, how well off is that state because you have the president or you had the president from there? It's not about the person, it's about what the person is doing or not doing. Exactly. But let's talk about the issue of national healing. Through the last election, there has been lots of division amongst Nigerians based on their affiliation to various political parties or even candidates and all of that. Now, we have a president-elect that is going to be president in just a few hours from now, and everyone expects that, well, he's going to move up towards healing the nation because he's going to be the father of the entire country, whether you supported him or not.
I hope I'm not sounding negative. Irrespective of any effort he makes, there will still be some who might actually bear this pain for a long time. But his effort at healing people, I'm sure one of the things you would expect, one of the ways he can heal people is come up with something interesting, something that will put paid to the sufferings of Nigerians, something that will make a lot of people forget that, am I in Nigeria? Whatever negativity, whatever negative brand that is out there, if he can change it, if people can be proud of where they are and the country they represent, trust me, there will be a whole lot of healing. However, I'm not that optimistic that there won't still be some critics. And it's also important for democracy, but let it be constructive criticism.
Amazing. I wonder, anyway, of course, it's the prerogative of the president coming in, but when it comes to the areas of priority,